What does it mean to transgress? To go beyond a boundary, to commit an offense, to violate some standard. When we feel we have transgressed, we typically experience an array of emotions such as embarrassment, guilt, and shame. Emotions can give us energy. They can be messengers to us, giving us information about ourselves or our world. They can be jailers, keeping us trapped and afraid. Three emotions that can be useful in the short term but limiting in the long term are shame, embarrassment, and guilt. They are three emotions that we have all likely felt in our lives, and they serve their purpose when they are transitory messages to us. But sometimes they become traps, forcing us to feel we have to hide from the world and ourselves. They can become so ingrained in us, so intrinsic in our daily lives, that we feel they are simply part of our being. Embarrassment is the easiest one to understand. It's when we've made a social transgression a society boo-boo, or when we've done something wrong and someone else finds out. Usually, we don't feel embarrassed for the things we have done that others would consider to be morally wrong, as it's usually reserved for little transgressions, for smaller things that others frown on, or even find funny. The social faux pas. Much of humor and comedy is based on embarrassing situations. Pack your bags, we're going on a guilt trip. Guilt is often experienced by people who feel they have done something wrong, or it could be that they didn't do something they should have. Guilt could be seen as our conscience talking to us, telling us we made a mistake, did something wrong. It can be valuable in that it can guide us to make amends and to learn from our mistakes. Someone once said that guilt is regret for what we've done, and regret is guilt for what we didn't do. Guilt stems from a cognitive evaluation of our actions or inactions from a moral framework. Guilt can, in fact, teach us what our values really are. Sometimes we may say we are okay with something until we try it and feel really guilty. And from this experience, we learn our true beliefs.
All right, I have another mommy confession. Might not seem like much to you, but makes me feel pretty guilty. And I just thought I'd let go of it and release it right here, right now with you guys. Sometimes when I'm reading baby's book to go to bed or before nap, I skip to the end. Yeah, just kind of cut the middle pages out and get right to that last page. I figure that's where the driving home theme is anyway. Not only do I skip to the end, but sometimes I don't really read the words. I just kind of make up stuff. Like, blah, 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 nah, nah, tree, and squirrel, and duck. Point to a duck. Anyway, feel pretty guilty about it. Feeling a little better now that I shared it and let go of it right now with you. And maybe tonight I'll actually sit there and read every single page and every word and enunciate. Anyway, thanks for listening, guys.
Shame is perhaps the most intense of these three emotions. It's a feeling that we have profoundly transgressed, that we have dishonored or disgraced ourselves or others. There is no real clear distinction between shame and guilt. Sometimes we can feel shame about having done something that no one else knows about, and feel guilty about something that actually gains the approval of others. Shame and embarrassment are also similar in that they involve transgression, but shame is a much more intense version. We can feel embarrassment, guilt, and shame for the things we have done and for the things that were done to us. These are common feelings for survivors of abuse. As children, we believe and are often told that we are responsible for the things that are done to us. We then view these beliefs from that child's perspective without really thinking about the logic of it. For example, a child who is beaten for having left the jelly out on the table overnight may try to find a way to rationalize this by accepting the message from the parent. I was bad. I was wrong. I deserve what I got. But as an adult looking back, we can now see how vulnerable children are, how they learn and make mistakes, and how it is virtually impossible to imagine them transgressing to such a degree that they actually deserve physical or sexual violence. This is often a rationalization that perpetrators of violence use to justify their action. They blame the victim. Adults often use these emotions as a way to control children. It's very effective. Most people fear being rejected by others, being ostracized. In some cultures, being exiled is the worst punishment possible. For teenagers in Western culture, being embarrassed may be seen as a fate worse than death. Embarrassment, guilt, and shame all involve some degree of anxiety. We fear being found out, having our transgression revealed. Sometimes, in the case where these emotions become bars in a prison, we live our life hiding our secrets and protecting ourselves from being found out. We may even have to hide the idea that we have a secret from ourselves and from others. As adults, we can examine our guilt, our shame, and own what we are responsible for and let go of the rest. One of the keys to transforming these feelings is to let go of the secret. Secrets take a lot of energy. It takes a lot of our psychic power to hide things. Keeping those skeletons in the closet takes a lot of work. Another approach is to differentiate privacy from secrets. Secrets by their very nature suggest shame, guilt, and embarrassment. But we'd all probably agree that we have a fundamental right to privacy. I'm not bound by anything to tell you about the last time I went to the restroom. That's private. So a key difference between a secret and private information is whether you have told someone or not. The act of telling another person, someone safe who will protect your privacy, like a clergy member or a therapist, can help us reclaim the energy we spent on keeping a secret. We have no obligation to tell the world anything, and when we can choose to tell another person, and that can be a hard process, we make that secret our own and no longer have to fear it. The website Post Secret is based on such an idea. People send in their secrets, things they haven't told others about, and read the secrets of like contributors. In doing so, we see that we are not alone, that others may share our secret, or that when they are out in the light of day, they are not so embarrassing. We can let go of the guilt, and we don't have to be ashamed anymore.